the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
Hey, stud. Hey, stud.
So, he's so quiet.
Hey, big guy. How you doing? How's your day, big guy?
How's your history buff? Have you ever talked history with him?
You're going to have a choice. I mean, if you talk to him, he's going to talk to you about football. It will bring so he's so intriguing with this conversation, the way he starts them. He draws you in right away.
So some people, Brian, try to say, outdated scheme, outdated system a little bit. You don't buy into any of that?
No. That defense works. You know, if you do it the right way, if you have a couple pass rushers and get to the quarterback and actually play your cover two behind it the way it's supposed to be played, it works. I mean, it's a legit bend but don't break defense. So as long as you guys that can rush the passer, you're going to be good in that defense. And a couple corners that can cover, you're going to be all right.
Brian Urlacher in studio, the future Hall of Famer. Let's talk about linebacker value.
Well, yeah, because if you look at the way the game has gone, the middle linebacker position just doesn't get paid the way a lot of the other positions are getting paid at this juncture. Why is that?
I have no idea. I don't understand it. You know, people want to see points scored. I know that much, so it's an offensive game. They want, except for the running backs, I guess. They don't get paid that much.
Right.
But, you know, it's the pass rushers, it's the corners. The safeties are getting paid a little bit more now as well. But, I don't know, it's an undervalued position. You know, Bobby did okay up there in Seattle. Bobby Wagner made a little bit of cake. Luke, did Luke get paid yet?
Yeah, he's got like a 12 a year.
Oh,
but you know, going into this offseason, there was only 9 guys making more than $5 million a year at the middle linebacker spot.
That surprises me. Either the position's young or it's just a turnover right now. I don't know, because I mean, if you're good at your position, you're going to get paid. That's all there is to it, especially with the way the salary cap is now. It's just going up every year, so guys are going to keep making more and more money, which is good for the players, in my opinion.
You guys have turned into kind of like the running back on defense with the value of it, right? They got to go DN, they want to go corner, even safety's getting more love.
The premium on getting pressure on the quarterback is such a big deal now. You got to spend your money up front. You know, you get the three. Look what not St. Louis. The Rams have done on their front.
Yes.
Gosh, they got 3 or 4 guys that can go, and they all make a ton of money.
You have any great Cowboy stories or connections, relationships?
So I grew up a Cowboys fan. I grew up in New Mexico, so I was, you know, the mid-'90s there was our heyday. I was so happy. So Darren Woods is my favorite player of all time.
Really?
Yeah, Bill Bates is right there. You know, Michael, Jay, Stepnoski. I could name you every lineman, all those guys, Kenneth Gann, all these guys, the guys you know most people wouldn't know. I'm a big fan of all those guys, so it was just fun growing up watching them.
You bring up Woody. I am just blown away that he's somehow not in the Hall of Fame. How is he not in?
It drives me crazy. I don't understand. He has 3 rings, correct? 3 rings.
Yeah.
I mean,
he got his rookie year
how much a big of a deal that is to the voters, but he had a good career. I mean, he was the big safety before, I think Atwater was before him, but he was the guy that I think made that defense go. I know they were good up front. They had Ken Norton in the middle and everything, but Darren Woods to me was a beast and one of my favorite players of all time.
And I think he's the nicest athlete I've met in DFW. Like, this guy's just, hey,
nice.
Meet you one time, he's gonna remember your name.
He's awesome. I love watching him on TV. When he's on TV, because I think what he says makes sense. You know, most of his points are pretty valid. And he's pretty fair to everyone he talks about as well.
A position that has struggled with the Hall of Fame is tight end. So we're trying to figure out when Witten is going to get in.
First ballot. I don't think there's any doubt. In my opinion, you look at his numbers, you know, is he number 2 all time in catches? Or I don't know where he ranks up tight end wise, but I mean, in my opinion, he's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Anything jump out about his game? He didn't have the greatest athleticism, technician, knowledge.
He's just good. The guy was always open. You know, his body position was unwrapped. Played against him, I think, 3 or 4 times. He's always got his body between you and the quarterback. And he's so big and wide. People don't realize how big he is. You can't get around him. You can't bat the ball down. And then obviously his hands are phenomenal. And he's one of the first guys that could catch, that could block as well. But, you know, in the modern era, guys, you got guys that really good receivers, but they don't really block. Jason did it both.
Brian Urlacher in studio. Help.
Man. It is hot here in Dallas, Texas, man. I mean, it is hot. This time of year, it's good, but it's bad. You know, the kids are out of school. They get to have fun, enjoy their vacation, being out. But it's hot. The heat here is relentless. It's unmerciful. It ain't for the weak at heart, you know. If you're thinking about moving to Texas, the summers are brutal. You know, people die. You know, people die of heat strokes and because they're not drinking enough water and things like that. If you do anything outside, drink plenty of water or go, you know, to a pool or something like that. But you really can't enjoy it because that's where everybody else is. So, but going to Six Flags and all that stuff, man, right up the street here, it's well, up the highway. Waiting in those lines in the heat is, you can't enjoy it, you know, unless you go early in the morning or maybe go in the evening, but, you know. But anyway, guys, that was a little bit of audio this morning. I couldn't wait to play that. I couldn't wait to play that for you guys because that was Brian Urlacher, Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame middle linebacker, one of the greatest that ever played the game. That was a little audio on him on being, well, not only on Rob Marinelli's scheme, but it was being a Cowboy fan, which I didn't know, which I wasn't aware of. And that's good to hear. When you hear those things, man, players that used to play the game and they love the Cowboys. That's one of the reasons why we're America's team, because, you know, we set that that standard, you know, in that era and created that name. And we got fans all over the world and still do. You know, former players that play for other teams were Cowboy fans. And to hear him say that, and just, you know, it was a good thing to hear. He talked about Marinelli's scheme, about how good it was. You know, we talk bad, us as fans, but him actually playing the game on a professional. I played the game on different levels, but not the professional level yet. Well, I'm not gonna even say yet, but I'm too old now. You know? But y'all know what I mean. He played the game on a professional level, Hall of Fame guy. Talked about his scheme, said it was a brilliant scheme. Maybe we don't see that because we're not out there playing, which is understandable. He did make some valid points of having the right pieces for that scheme, having a good pass rush. Pass rush is the most important thing for that scheme because it's a safe cover 2 defense. It's a prevent, pretty much cover 2. We sometimes, probably 60-70% of the time, Marinelli has 2 linebackers out there. 4 down front, 2 linebackers, and 5 DBs. And what's that? 5? What's that? 4, 5 is 9, then 2 is 11. So I know somebody said in the comment section, I've said that about a couple of months back, man, you can't count. I'm like, dumbass. But anyway, that scheme is it's a smart scheme. You know, if you have the right personnel in order, you know. Good linebackers, good defensive, good 4-man down front, and a good cover corners. You get what I'm saying? So you got to have those pieces to make that scheme work. It can be a good scheme if you have the right pieces in there. So it was good to hear him say that because it'll make everybody understand about that scheme because he has a hard time switching it up. And that's the problem. It's a good scheme, but if it's not working, you get what I'm saying? He still does it. I'm like, okay, it's time. If that's not fucking working, it's just like when you're playing Madden. If it's not fucking working, let me switch. Let me go to 3-4. Let me go to, you know, back to the original 4-3. We're a 4-3 defense, but we always run a nickel. So, and Dion was on there later. He was on there about 5 or 10 minutes later, but I had to get into work. I couldn't get it. He had some good things to say too. But I couldn't get any audio on there. I had to get into work and everything. So I wish I could have got him. But 2 Hall of Fame guys, you know, talking about the game and talking about the Cowboys. Dion talked about Dez. I was still able to listen to it on my phone. Dion was talking about Dez. They asked him what he thought about Dez and why hasn't he got signed yet. He said, well, the Cowboys what they need to do is just apologize to Dez. Everybody needs to apologize to Dez and pick him back up, sign him back. Say, hey, man, we made a mistake. Come on back. And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Dion said this. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, my God. That'd be good, you know. I would love to have Dez back, but I know that's not going to happen. The Dallas Cowboys, they punk-ass front office, they have too much pride to do that. So we all know that's not going to happen. But so my battery's about to go out on this camera, guys. So, but that's all I got, man. Make sure y'all stay cowboyed up because you never know what the day is going to bring you. Holla back at your boy. I'm out.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how much